Welcome back to the Otaku Spectrum YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe for more of these. Let's continue with episode 4. Donut is sitting on the couch, her golden eyes glowing wide as she sings out dramatically, musical notes swirling in the air. What ya say? She keeps her regal posture as a hand reaches down, patting her head. That stuff'll rot your brains, you know. Donut sits upright on the couch, tail curled neatly, staring at the glowing screen ahead. Cece, tell me everything about Rufus and Lily's wedding. She leans back, her eyes half-lidded as her voice flows with elegance. Well, of course you did. Her thoughts echo bitterly. Tragically, I wasn't invited. Apparently, my son-in-law felt it best if I didn't attend. A memory takes form, glowing bright. A spotlight shines on a table. A judge stands proudly. A massive trophy gleams, and a red-haired woman beams as she presents Donut, who sits regally in front of the prize. This year's grand champion is... The woman lifts Donut into her arms, hugging her tightly. Donut purrs, her fur pressed against the woman's cheek. You're a good girl, my princess. The memory shifts again. Carl sits forward, gripping a controller tightly, his face intense. Donut rests calmly in his lap, unbothered as Carl shouts into the screen. Reloading! Frags out! I'm pushing, he's low! Double kill! Kill-tacular! The match ends. Carl tries to lift Donut, but she digs her claws into his leg with a furious hiss. Okay, up you! Ow! He glares down at her, sighing in defeat as she smugly settles back into his lap. Fine, you win. You can stay. Little shit. Her golden eyes flick up with lazy defiance. What you gonna do about it? Time passes. Snow falls quietly outside the window as Carl stands with a phone to his ear. His voice is low and cold. I don't care, B. Stay in the Bahamas. Donut naps lazily on the cat tree behind him while a laptop glows on the desk, showing Bo on the beach, smiling in the arms of another man. Carl stands by the window, voice flat as he continues on the phone. I'll look after Donut and your stuff until your parents can pick her up. The pass should be clear of snow in a week or two. His words sound practical, but the weariness behind them is impossible to miss. Later, he sits hunched over the table, burying his face in his hands. Donut climbs onto his shoulders without hesitation, her purring loud, steady, and unbothered by his despair. The sound fills the silence, smug and comforting at the same time. Carl holds her against his chest, his expression hidden in shadow. His jaw is tight, but Donut presses closer, eyes half closed, vibrating with self-satisfaction. She purrs as if she owns the moment, as if even his grief belongs to her. Purple smoke coils around her. Donut rises with regal disdain, her voice sharp and lofty. Really, Carl. My name is GCBWRNW, Princess Donut, the Queen Anne Chonk. The air hums as if her title alone bends reality. Carl trudges forward, Mordecai at his side, and Donut stares down at them both with her imperious glare. I will accept just Princess, or even Princess Donut. She pauses, lifting her paw with delicate precision. But not if we are in the presence of high company. The light shifts, catching her fur in a divine glow. Her tail curls like a banner of royalty as her golden eyes sweep the room. Every beat of her posture screams superiority. Carl's face hardens, sarcasm tugging at the corners of his mouth, but Donut continues with perfect composure. The room falls into silence, and then Mordecai finally breaks it with a grumble. I suppose Princess Donut will do for now. Donut narrows her eyes, the faintest smirk pulling at her lips. Her gaze sharpens, as if measuring the worth of those around her. Mordecai blinks, his eyes wide, realization striking like a spark of lightning across his face. His expression shifts into sudden excitement, disbelief turning into glee. He bursts out laughing, pointing with a dramatic gesture. Check her stats, his voice echoes, followed by sharp, mocking laughter that rattles the air. Carl lifts his hand, swiping at the glowing interface. A party screen flickers into existence, his name beside Donut's. Her stat sheet hovers in the air, shining with numbers that feel almost unreal. Strength, 11. Intelligence, 11. Constitution, 2. Dexterity, 8. And then Charisma, 25. Another window opens, listing her buffs. Enhanced growth. Each new level promises boosts in strength, intelligence, and charisma, with charisma surging higher than everything else. No extra points to spread, no control, just destiny written in light. Carl's jaw drops, disbelief turning into a sharp exclamation. Holy shit! His voice cracks the silence, carrying both awe and frustration. His eyes narrow as he compares himself to her numbers. The thought burns in his head. Wait, why is her intelligence so much higher than mine? The glowing symbols hang mockingly in the air. Her 11 beside his miserable 3. Mordecai rubs his chin, voice calm, almost lecturing. The no additional stat points per level up means she's stuck with a base constitution of 2 and a dex of 8. With a charisma like that, she should consider a bard-based class. His words trail into an almost amused chuckle. 2 points every level is going to add up fast. Carl blinks, staring at Donut with an expression caught between disbelief and resignation. Bard, huh? The word tastes strange in his mouth, as if admitting it somehow makes it real. Mordecai lifts his hands with emphasis. Crawlers are immune to the effects of her charisma. Guides like me are too, but the others in the dungeon won't be. Donut sits primly, tail curling around her paws, eyes glowing like embers. She licks a paw delicately, her voice regal and assured. For the first several floors, that number is huge. Bigger than you realize. Mordecai exhales heavily, shoulders slumping as he drops into a chair with a tired flop. I'm gonna have to start the tutorial all over. His sigh fills the room, laced with exhaustion and inevitability. Donut sits proudly, her tail curling like a velvet ribbon as her eyes narrow. Her voice is cool and sharp. That's not necessary. She lifts her chin toward Carl, who's standing in his ridiculous heartprint shorts, confusion written across his face. Donut declares with royal certainty, I heard everything you said to my manservant. Carl blinks. His tone is flat, incredulous. Manservant. Donut flicks her tail and looks away with exaggerated grace. Let's get this farce rolling. Mordecai tilts his head, smirking faintly. Donut cuts him off with a pointed glance. He's a little slow. Intelligence of only 3. She lets the words hang before adding with regal pity. Sad, really. Carl's face twists in a grimace, eyes narrowing, his lips pressed tight as if the insult stings harder than he wants to admit. Donut's golden eyes gleam as a memory intrudes. In her mind's theater, she sees herself lounging on a velvet chair while a stately family sits nearby. Her voice is smooth, dripping with false sympathy. But he's been with the family for a while now, and I just can't see myself letting him go. The vision fades. Mordecai waves a hand with casual precision, glowing trails sparking in the air. His voice is steady. I've activated your menus. Light bursts into the room as treasure chests shimmer into existence. 5 of them, wood, silver, and 1 golden chest crowned with a lion's head. The glow paints Donut in radiant gold as she gazes up in awe. One by one, the chests burst open with a sharp poof, scattering their contents into the air. Green potions, scrolls, weapons. They tumble in slow motion, glittering under the light. The silver chest remains glowing bright. Text hangs over it like judgment. Silver adventurer box. The chest creaks open, spilling a new flood of brilliance. Inside, a tome glows, its cover engraved with the words magic missile. Next to it, a bag falls gently, marked with a paw. The air vibrates with the announcement. Tome of magic missile, pet biscuits. Carl stares at the spectacle, caught between disbelief and a creeping realization. In the corner of his mind, Bee's laughter flashes faintly, a memory sharp and cruel. She is gone, and yet here he is, sharing loot with a cat who calls him her servant. The glow intensifies, and a new chest emerges from the void, far larger and far more ornate than the rest. Golden filigree wraps around a snarling lion's head. The text burns into the air. Legendary quadruped box. Donut sits frozen, her fur haloed in violet light. The chest bursts open, and something far stranger than loot drifts out. A silver crown, sharp and delicate, glittering with a sinister amethyst gem. The system announces in mocking tones, "Enchanted crown of the sepsis whore." Carl takes a half step back, grimacing. His voice is wary. "That sounds ominous." Mordecai doesn't flinch, his tone dry. "Wait until you read the description." Black tendrils coil in the air around Donut as the magic missile tome floats before her. Her eyes flare, unblinking, as if she has already consumed the knowledge written on its pages. Mordecai exhales, shaking his head with reluctant admiration. "Ah, Princess Donut, I see you taught yourself the magic missile spell already. That's good, good." But his expression darkens as he gestures toward the crown. "That other item you received is quite valuable and powerful, but it is also very dangerous. Before you decide to put it on, you should take special note that it..." A flash cuts him off. The crown is already on Donut's head. It settles there with perfect arrogance, glowing purple against her white fur. She sits proudly, tail curling in triumph, her face alight with smug delight. Mordecai presses his paw to his face and sighs. Sigh. The system flashes again, painting the air with burning orange text. Enchanted crown of the sepsis whore. The mocking words echo. "Who's a dirty girl? You're a dirty girl." Lines of data roll into view. This is a fleeting item. This is a unique item. Imbues wearer with +5 intelligence. Grants the user +5 to the good first impression skill. All attacks, including magical attacks, now have a 15% chance to inflict the sepsis debuff. More text slams into focus. Warning! Seriously though, I'm going to say this again. Carl squints as the words pulse in angry red. Warning! Read this shit before you put it on. And then the real price is revealed. Placing this crown upon your head permanently places you within the royal line of succession for the Blood Sultanate on the 9th floor of the World Dungeon. Removing this item will not remove this status. Carl swallows hard, unease knotting in his chest. Donut, however, closes her eyes with bliss, the crown gleaming as if it were always hers. The system's warning blares across the air in harsh, glowing letters. Royal members of the Blood Sultanate will be required to slay the Sultan and all other members of the royal family before descending to the 10th floor. The letters burn hotter. You'll only want to wear this if you're a bloodthirsty, raging psychopath. Carl winces, his voice sharp, almost pleading. I'm not so sure you should have put that on. Donut sits in the center of the room, unbothered, her new crown pulsing with purple light. She declares simply, "It's purple. Purple is my color." Her tail flicks with pride as her eyes glow. Do you know how many purple ribbons I've won? Do you know what it takes to get a purple ribbon? Her words drip with the authority of countless competitions, as if the dungeon itself should respect her pedigree. Mordecai adjusts himself in his chair, his tone heavy with explanation. Fleeting means it'll crumble to dust the moment she takes it off. If that happens, another copy will generate somewhere else in the dungeon. Carl narrows his eyes, arms crossed. Mordecai continues, matter of fact. If another crawler gets the crown... Donut lets out a furious hiss, paw slamming against the table as bottles rattle. Her fur bristles, a protective queen defending her prize. Mordecai doesn't flinch. It'll just be one more person you'll have to kill. Carl freezes. The word drops from his lips like ice. Kill? His eyes harden as the reality of this world sinks deeper, darker. He looks down, jaw clenched, voice cracking under the weight. What the hell am I going to do now? Donut stretches luxuriously, the crown glowing like it was made for her. She speaks as if the answer were obvious, her voice smooth and sharp. It's quite simple, really. Her claws flex against the floor as she arches her back in a slow, satisfied stretch. You need to assist me to this 18th level so I can exit this hellscape. The words echo in Carl's mind, absurd and chilling all at once. B's absence cuts deeper in that silence. The woman who left him behind while a crowned cat now dictates his fate. The system text bursts across the air in sharp letters. Princess Donut has named your party the Royal Court of Princess Donut. Princess Donut has changed your title to Royal Bodyguard. Princess Donut has changed her title to Grand Champion, Best in Dungeon. Carl stares at the glowing words, his voice rising in disbelief. Really? Donut continues, her tone sly. You have been promoted from manservant to bodyguard. Congratulations, Carl. Mordecai settles back into his chair with a lazy smirk. She has the highest combined stat total, so she's the designated party leader. Carl's glare sharpens, but Mordecai adds with a wave of his paw, Don't worry, the titles don't mean anything. The rat leans closer, his tone lower, sharper. She's quite a bit more powerful than you are right now, so you'll want to stick together. Donut struts forward without hesitation, the crown pulsing violet. Her tail flicks as she declares in a commanding tone, Open door! The dungeon obeys. A portal yawns open, purple light tearing across the threshold. Mordecai's voice lingers behind them. At least until you get to the 9th floor. The rat's eyes narrow. His words land heavy. Remember, that crown is on her head, not yours. Donut pads out of the chamber first, nose wrinkling in disgust as she glances down. Gross. There's blood out here. She steps over it daintily, her crown glowing brighter as if the gore were beneath her notice. Mordecai lifts his head, his voice soft but steady. By the way, now that I've trained both of you, if you enter any tutorial guilds, you'll be transported back to this room. Feel free to visit if you have any additional questions before floor 4. Carl turns, already heading for the exit, his voice laced with sarcasm. Yeah, take care. Good luck with your exit deal shit. Mordecai watches them go, eyes narrowed as snow glitters faintly beyond the doorway. His words are quiet, almost to himself. Yeah, good luck to you too. Carl is suddenly grabbed by the collar, his body yanked forward, his eyes widen as the rat merchant glares at him, face stern and serious. No matter what they tell you, the rat's voice is sharp, his grip tight. He leans in closer, his crimson eye locking with Carl's. It's not worth it. Not until floor 12. Carl's pulse quickens. The weight of the words presses down heavier than the grip on his shirt. Even then, the rat continues, his tone low and urgent. Negotiate as much as you can. With a sudden twist of his wrist, the rat shoves Carl back, his hand releasing him. Remember! Carl stumbles backward, struggling to catch his balance, his cloak fluttering as he nearly falls. The door slams shut behind him with a deafening slam. Breath ragged, Carl looks upward, confusion and unease written across his face. What did that mean? He mutters, his brows furrowed, his thoughts swirl. That it's better to die than take an exit deal on floors 10 and 11? He lets out a humorless chuckle, shoulders slumping. He thinks I'll make it that far. Carl's mind flashes to the brutal reality. His jaw clenches. 3 million people died in just an hour. The weight of it sinks in, the truth settling like a stone in his stomach. He grips his head in disbelief. Holy shit, 3 million people just died. Donut's voice cuts through his spiraling thoughts, clear and commanding. Carl, we need to get moving. Carl turns around with a puzzled look. Huh? Donut continues in a condescending tone. You're going to walk that way. If we get attacked by anything, you protect me. Carl raises an eyebrow. Your plan is to wander aimlessly? Donut replies without hesitation. We have approximately 29 hours before these aliens air their television show. That means we have 29 hours to do something absolutely spectacular. But first, we need to find you some pants. She flicks her tail with annoyance. I will not be presented to the universe in such a fashion. I can see the comments now on the Martian social media. Beautiful cat and blorg. Why isn't her bodyguard wearing pants? Carl snaps back. You know you're not wearing pants either. Donut lifts her chin. I am a cat. Cats don't wear pants. Don't attempt to be droll. Carl thinks to himself, his face darkening. How the hell am I supposed to survive the next floor? Will we have to fight other humans? Kill them? Donut interrupts his thoughts. Now I know your simple level 3 intelligence is telling you to... Carl cuts her off sharply. Okay, that's enough. I'm going to go that way, he says, pointing off in the distance. Then, while pointing at her, he continues, and you're going to go any other direction. His voice is sharp, his hand swiping angrily. Donut looks up at Carl in shock. What? You want to separate? I don't understand. Carl exhales, trying to calm his nerves. Mordecai said you're a lot more powerful than I am. Great. That means you'll probably be okay. He chuckles bitterly, remembering the 3 million dead humans. More okay than me. But I'm not going to spend the last few hours of my life dealing with this attitude. Donut freezes in disbelief as Carl continues. Cats are assholes. I get it. But do you know why people like cats, despite their assholeness? It's because they don't fucking talk. He sneers at her, turns, and begins to walk away, frustration heavy in his voice. Forget it. Donut starts to panic, her voice trembling. Wait, Carl, wait. Don't. I'm sorry. Wait. Carl halts and turns back around. What? Donut lowers her head. I'm sorry. You're right. It's just... When I woke up back there, I had all these memories of sitting in that window, of all those horrid yet wonderful cat shows, of being told what a princess I am. I am a grand champion, Carl. I'm supposed to act a certain way, but sitting in your lap, watching you get fragged over and over in Call of Duty. I like that too. I mean, you really suck at the game. Carl furrows his brow at that. You keep playing. I didn't realize it at the time, but I like that. Carl narrows his eyes. So what are you saying? That you're not a crazy stuck-up asshole princess? Donut lifts her head proudly. Oh, I am a princess, Carl. But I'll try not to be too much of an asshole. I need you, and you need me, okay? Look, I'm really scared here. I don't want to be alone. And I know you don't want to be alone either. Carl blinks, uncertain. What do you mean? Donut leaps onto his shoulder, her voice soft but firm. There was that day when the passes were all clear. You could have taken me back to Miss Beatrice's parents, but you didn't want to. And you were looking for an apartment, making sure they allowed cats. You were thinking about catnapping me, Carl stammers. No, But internally he knows it's true. That was exactly what he had been planning. Donut continues. It wouldn't have worked anyway. Her lawyer dad would have gotten me back right away. Carl sighs, defeated. You're right. Donut purrs softly as Carl finally relents. Also, Carl mutters, I'm not wearing pants because you decided to jump out of the window. Donut bristles. If I hadn't jumped out of the window, we'd both be dead right now. Carl frowns. Then why did you jump anyway? Stop! Donut suddenly yells. Her body stiffens, eyes locked on the darkness ahead. Carl follows her gaze. A luminous glow shines from a pitch-black hallway. What is it? What do you see? He asks. Donut doesn't answer. Instead, a low growl rumbles from her throat. Her eyes spark with light, then erupt into beams of pure energy. Carl stumbles back, stunned. What the hell? One laser smashes into the wall with a violent explosion. The other streaks down the hallway, illuminating a shadowy figure. Two crimson eyes glare back, glowing menacingly in the dark. Rah! A deafening roar shakes the floor. The creature's form emerges, energy swirling violently around its neck. The threat is undeniable. The battle is coming. This is the end of part 4. Please subscribe for more of this story.